It's important to start with definitions, but the reason I want to go into detail about the definition of atheism is to unravel also the psychology behind some people's disbelief in the divine. Because it's very important, as we said just a few minutes ago, that the human being is not just this kind of functional computerized model, but rather the human being is a ruh, is a soul, is a fitra, has a qalb, is an intellect, and all of these things are interacting with each other in some kind of metaphysical, profound way. So the human being should be addressed as the human being. The human being shouldn't be addressed as some kind of functional computerized model, right? That you give them an algorithm and that's it, it's going to lead to iman. It doesn't work that way. So one of the reasons I want to go through the definitions of atheism, because it gets us to understand the psychology. Secondly, it gets us to understand certain positions. And it gets us to understand that not all atheists are the same. And there are different types of atheism from a practical point of view. And there's a type of disbelief in the divine that doesn't necessarily reject his existence, but they just hate him. And we're going to discuss that as well, inshallah, okay? So, linguistically, the term atheism is actually a Greek term, atheos, right? Which means the belief, the non-belief in a god or gods, or intervening god or gods. That's the kind of linguistic definition. You have the prefix a, which is a negation, if you like, and you have theos, which means God in Greek. So atheos means an atheist, someone who doesn't believe in an intervening God or gods. That's the basic definition. However, from an academic point of view, there is no consensus on the definition of atheism, which is quite interesting because in academia, there's probably not consensus on many things, right? Because in academia, it's entrenched in skepticism, which you're always going to have difference of opinions on many things. Obviously, there's a healthy skepticism, but generally speaking, in some areas of, especially in philosophy, there's debates about so many issues, right? Anyway, notwithstanding, we have to now approach this not from a kind of philosophical definition perspective, but from a practical perspective. So the definitions I want to give you are definitions that are based on a practical understanding of what it means to deny the divine, okay? And there are three main definitions from a practical perspective that we could talk about when it comes to denying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first one is what you call a positive atheist or positive atheism. What does this mean? This means that an atheist who is a positive atheist is making a knowledge claim. When they say there is no God, they're making a positive knowledge claim that there is no God and I have evidence for that. Therefore, they must have an argument for that claim. Generally speaking, practically, this type of atheist only has one main argument, generally speaking from a kind of popular point of view. And that argument is the argument from the problem of evil and suffering. They think this is a positive argument to deny the existence of a powerful, good being, right? An all-powerful, all-good God, which we're going to address tomorrow. So they have a positive argument to justify their knowledge claim that there is no God, okay?